So you're finally ready to set your bike up with tubeless compatible tires and wheels. Join me as I show you how to do it. Today, I'm going to be putting my Aventon Ramblas ADV wheel set, converting it into tubeless. It does come tubeless ready, tubeless compatible. What you'll need, these ones already come taped, which I just found out last night, which is amazing, but you'll need tape, you'll need a sealant, and you'll need a tubeless valve stem. I'm going to be using the big bore system from Muck Off. So let's get this front wheel off and we'll do our first tire. So I flip my bike upside down because I don't have a stand. Plus this is a e-mountain bike, so it is about 54 pounds. So all you want to do is take your front through axle out. Make sure that you'll have a place to put it. And then all we have to do is pull this front wheel straight out. Now we'll want to let the air out of the tube that's inside. There is a nut that keeps it from rattling. We'll take that off. And now we're good to go and break the bead of this tire and then take the tire lever and take it off. I find that Pedro's tire levers work the best, and all you want to do is get it up under that lip, bring it over the side of the wheel, and slowly work your way around. Break the bead with your hands on the other side. There's that tube in the middle, and then we're able to get this tire all the way off. There we go. Let's get that valve stem in. So this is only going to be unique to the Aventon Ramblas ADV. All you have to do is take this rim tape off, and it's already taped up. But if you're setting wheels up for the first time, you'll need rim tape. And what you want to do is just get it wide enough so it's stretchable. You'll run it into the channel. Make sure that it overlaps, probably about, I would say, 4 to 6 inches. Cut it and then work your way around. It doesn't hurt if you're going to be using bigger tires like a mountain bike. Maybe do 2. I've done 2 strips in the past and that's worked out for me. But these Aventon Ramblas, they come pre-taped. So let's go ahead, we'll poke a little hole in it and we'll get that valve stem in. So if you're watching the channel, for the Muck Off Big Bore, they come in 4 different sizes, a small, medium, large, and extra large. I went with the large, 45 millimeters, and we want that cool blue color to match the bike. So let's go ahead, we'll pull these out. And this is what you're looking at for those 45 milliliter length. It is fitted with a Presta style wheel, but then it's got that Schrader big bore to be able to dump air in. If you're on the trail, you can take air out quickly, which is a fantastic little feature. So let's get this on the first wheel. So we'll remove the top valve. We'll take this off. We'll have that little rubber mount. Push this through from the inside of the valve. We'll install that rubber mount and we'll thread this first part on. So you'll want to push down pretty hard on the back side to create that airtight seal. They do give you a little wrench inside the box so you can tie it down that way. And then all we would have to do is thread this back on. And we have that wide opening. So now that we have that valve stem in with those O-rings and the rubber mount, we're ready to put the tire back on. Just remind yourself that these tires are most likely directional, so you have to put them on the correct way, and then make sure that you've got the writing parallel to the valve stem. So we'll get this on now. We have the Recon. Let me just pull out this old tube. We're using the Recon by Maxxis. This is a 29-inch tire 2.0. So let me just find this direction so I can put this back on. Tubeless Ready Tires. This arrow will be going, check this side, rotation will be this way for forward. So I know that my disc brakes will be on the left side. So we'll put this on and I'll have the Maxxis writing onto the other side. I like to start with the valve stem, put that lip of the tire on the other side, and then we'll just work our way with the one side on. So at this part, we have the one side of the tire seated. There's a few options that we can do. One, you can actually add sealant into the tire channel right now, put it on, and then add air. What I like to do is put the tire on dry, and I like to set it with a floor pump, and then I'll take that valve core off and then add all the sealant that way. So let's do it my way, but you can alternatively fill this with sealant right here, fix the bead on the second side, and then you're good to go with air. So I've got the tire on. It's a pretty dry, pretty tight fit. And with that big bore, I don't think I'm gonna have an issue filling this up with a floor pump, and then you'll hear the pops seating the beads, and then I'll let the air out and then add the sealant. So wish me luck. So here we are. This seems to be taking air without issue, and that might be due to the big bore valve. We've got that Schrader style floor pump, and I'm getting up to about 20 pounds right now. It is holding air, so I'll put it up to 35 right now, seat it, let the air out, and then I'll add that sealant, which will seal up all those tiny air escape routes. So with the muck off valve stems, make sure that you close that air channel before you take it off, or all that air will come out. This is holding air without any sealant. So now what we'll do is release the air, fill it out with sealant, and then refill back up. Adding sealant is pretty easy. I use Orange Seal. I've used this for quite a few years, and I haven't gotten a flat slice of sidewall, but that's my fault. And I bought the kit a long time ago that has this adapter. So all we have to do is give this a good shake. We will be putting 4 to 5 ounces of sealant inside this tire because it is a big volume tire. It's mounted by Tire 29. And all we'll do is put this on the valve stem, add our 4 to 5 ounces, and refill it with air. So I've got this on. We'll put this attachment on to the press. I did take that big bore valve off just because this is the attachment that I have now. I like to keep the valve stem at the 3 o'clock or the 9 o'clock. That way you don't have anything leaking out. So we'll go ahead and add 4 ounces. Now we're ready to go and add air back into this. We'll lock this on and slowly add air. So once we get up to about 30 pounds, I'll take the tire in my hand and I'll rotate it around. And that just gives the sealant a chance to find any small little air leaks that it might encounter. So there we are at 30. We'll close that valve out, take that off, and just let the sealant do its thing. I think we're good. Visual inspection and no sealant. So we're going to put this on the front and we'll do the same to the back. Now let's go ahead, take the back wheel off. This one's a tricky one because you have to worry about the derailleur and the chain and the gears. So we'll take this off easily. That's why we flip it upside down, just to keep everything off the ground. And we'll do the exact same thing. Like I said, if you don't have the Aventon Ramblas ADV, you might have to tape your wheels on the inside, but that's not an issue at all. So let's get this off, get everything done that we did in step 1 for that front tire, and then we'll get this back on and we'll take it for a ride. So just because that front wheel went on so nicely, I'm just going to show you how to add to the rear tire directly in here without using that valve stem. So what you want to do is add down here your 4 to 5 ounces. That's about it. You'll see that it's in the bottom now. And then we'll just go ahead and nicely adjust this so there's no spray. Since I don't have anything in that valve stem, just make sure that it doesn't gravitate towards the bottom where that might fall out. You might need a tire lever depending how tight the tire is. So we'll just run this way. So the sealant will be in a channel now. And we'll work the rest of this on by hand. So now it's on. What I'll do is go ahead and put that big bore valve cover on, making sure that it's accepting air, which it is. Thread this on and we'll pump it up. Locked on. Adding that Schrader. So this might be a little tricky because I don't have a floor pump where I'm dumping air into it, but we'll see. We'll see if I can set this and not be messy. Looks promising. I don't see any sealant coming out, so let's just... Took. We are doing this by hand. So once again, we'll get this up to about 30, 35 pounds. Oh, heard it pop. The bead's set. We're at 30 pounds now. We'll just give it 5 more. Remember, close that valve, release, and we just want to make sure that sealant gets where it needs to be. Put the cap back on, and we're ready to install it back on the bike. So there you have it. We just set up the Aventon Ramblas ADV Tubeless. It didn't take long at all. This setup can work on any bike that's tubeless ready, tubeless compatible, and you don't have to worry about these anymore. Like I said, I haven't gotten a flat in 5 years, knock on wood, but we see you on the trail.